everyone, welcome to my corner of the world. Today I'm sharing a card made with a couple of products from the Celebration catalogue. This is runs from January through February the 28th, 2022. And the two products I'm showing to you today is this stamp set, the Awesome Otters. I mean, they're just so cute, aren't they? As well as this pack of designer series paper. And I'll go on to explain a little bit more about Celebration when I'm working, but you can see that this pack, it had, I mean, I've used quite a lot of it, 48 sheets, and there's like a marble effect and sort of a water effect, and there's like pinks, blues, greens, greys, and the Highland Heather. So that's what we're working with today, and here's our cute little card. Now I wanted him to look like he was sort of floating in a little pond there, and I got my thinking cap on, and I realized that we've got some die sets where we can cut out the outlines of flowers. And so this is the one that I've got here, which is Flowers of Home. And you can see that it's got dies to cut out leaves and things like that, but it's also got this die that will cut out an outline of the flowers once they're stamped. And I thought, well, you know, that would make an interesting hole in my card that I could have my little guy floating around in. And so that's really what I'm going to share with you today. So I'm using one of the other colors. This is the one that is Coastal Cabana. I think that's what, anyway, this is Coastal Cabana. And I'm going to be layering it onto Bermuda Bay. And so those are my colors there. I'm going to start off though with cutting my hole in the piece of card, and I'm going to lay it at an angle because I want to leave sufficient room for me to stamp my greeting here. So we're going to get the cut and emboss machine, and for this you're going to need the base plate number 1. And you're also going to need the adapter, number 2. And then we're going to put one clear plate down. I know it's not very clear, but this is well loved. And then we're going to place the card and the die on this plate. And then I'm going to put another clear plate on the top. And I've just realised I've got the handle where I can't get to it. So there, we've got it in the right place now. So I'm just going to run that through. And I like to go quite slowly to give the time for the rollers to put pressure on the cutting blades in the die so that we get a nice clean cut. So this is the bit that we're going to need. This is the bit that is a spare piece we can use for scrap. That is that part done. I'm going to stamp my greeting. The one I chose to use on the outside is the one that reads, "You are utterly awesome." And I'm using crumb cake ink on this one, and I'm just going to place it across the corner like that, and I'm going to set that aside, and I'm going to just stamp my inside piece. That's my liner. That's the bit where you're going to write your "To You, Love from Me" on. And also I'm going to do an envelope. I like to have a little bit of decoration on my envelope. There we are. Now I did a little bit of preparation ahead of time where I got some white cardstock, and again using the crumb cake I stamped myself a couple of the little otters, the one lying on his back with the fish and the one that's got his little head poking above the water. And I've coloured them in, and I chose to use the ivory and the bronze blends. Those are the ones I've used there. And I also stamped the little hat. There's a little hat stamp, and I stamped that one, and I got some blends. That's Daffodil Delight and Poppy Parade, and I just made a little party hat there. And once I coloured them, I simply just fussy cut them with my paper snips. I'm going to take this piece now, and I want to put a texture on it. So I'm going to use the Painted Texture embossing folder. And I want to make sure that the embossing comes, if you like, to the right side of the card. So this is going to be my front side, and I know from experience that the majority of Stampin' Up! Embossing folders, if you have your right side up so that you can see it through the side that's got the Stampin' Up! Logo, it will be right. And this is just a little reminder to me that I need to use the grey plate to put my embossing in. So I'm going to get the cut and emboss machine back again, and I'm going to put the white base down. That's number 1. Then I'm going to place my embossing folder, and then I'm going to use this grey plate, number 4. It's known as number 4. And then I'll just finish my sandwich and just gently crank that through. And there we are. And I didn't do this on my first card, and it wasn't until after I finished it I thought I wished I had done. So there I've done it on this one. Then I've got my piece of Designer Series paper. Now this piece measures 5 1/4 by 4, and this piece measures 3 3/4 by 5. Now you don't have to worry about making notes on that, because if you look below the this video, you'll see a link to my blog, and if you follow it, it'll take you there, and you'll be able to get all the measurements from there. So I want to put it so that this sort of watery pattern is visible through my hole. And so I'm going to put some adhesive. Now I like to use liquid adhesive, and those of you who watch me regularly know that it gives me some working time when I put it all together. So I've put just some adhesive around the outside edge, and then making sure I have this the right way round, so that it needs to be face down. I'm just going to put that so that I've got like a little margin all the way round. And then I've got my wavy bits sticking out there. My card base, I'm just going to use some Stampin' Dimensionals on this, and I'm going to pop one on each corner and then one in the middle. And oh, I've still got one there, so and I'll go back and use those edge pieces on another card, because they're just as sticky as the hexagonal shaped ones. We're going to pop that on, making sure it's as centered as I can, and then we're going to put the bit on the inside so we can write our greeting, because this Bermuda Bay is just a weeny bit too dark to write clearly, so I like to put a liner in my cards. So now we're left with our utterly gorgeous otters. Now, when I cut this out, I thought that what I would do is I would tuck him sort of peeking out of somewhere. So I did leave a little sort of piece on it, but I'm going to trim a little bit more off so I've got somewhere to tuck him in. Right, so we're going to pop him there like that, so he's just his cheeky little face is poking out, and then we've got our little swimming guy here, and we've got our little hat. So I'm not sure who should have the hat on this one. Maybe the little cheeky guy could have the hat. Maybe we could do it that way. Yep, I think we'll do it that way. So I'm going to just have a little bit of adhesive on the back of this little fella, and I'm going to pop him back in like that. And this little guy I am going to pop up on mini dimensionals and just use my little piercing end of my tool here, and it makes it a lot easier to pick these up. And I've got this piece, this here, this is what was left over, and I just want the tiniest of sliver to just support his little tail here, because I'm a bit concerned it will go a bit on the flat side. And let's pop him just there, plop that down so that it can't be seen. Oh, that's fiddly. Okay, and then backing off. And I wanted to put the hat on there, didn't I? And I didn't do it at the time, but we can go back. So we'll pop that there like that. So he's swimming lazily, enjoying his little swim there. And we'll put a dimensional on our cheeky little pop-up guy. There we go. Cute. I like that. And let's see, we need to give him some bling. So I've got the iridescent rhinestones. These are a new product in the spring catalogue for 2022. So there, what shall we do? Shall I give him a big one? Let's just give him one of the big ones and pop it on his pom-pom. So his entire pom-pom is sparkly. So there, I think I'm done now. So this was just a quick video. I just wanted to share with you how you could use your dies that would cut out a flower to create a pond for your swimming little otters. I do hope you've enjoyed this video. Give me a thumbs up. If you don't already subscribe, go ahead, subscribe to my channel, and then I'll be able to meet up with you when I do my next videos. Thank you for choosing me to spend time with me. Thank you, and bye-bye for now.